Well, he spoke a lot about the relationship with Israel, the Middle East going forward, specifically about Turkey and the meeting that was canceled, that was scheduled with President Erdogan and was canceled last minute by the president because of the remarks that Bolton had made with Netanyahu in Israel, and reassuring listeners in that radio show that President Erdogan made promises to President Trump, saying that the Turkish population or the Kurdish population within Syria will not be harmed, that that's not the intention of Turkey.
So remembering what he had said, he angered Ankara, saying that they will protect the YPG terrorists in Turkey. And now he's saying that critically important that we don't allow the situation with Turkey to deteriorate, and also talking about military talks to continue next week. What does that all mean?
I mean, obviously he's backpedaling. He's feeling the pressure. He made some remarks in Israel that were not taken well in Ankara and by President Erdogan, because, again, it contradicts what Trump had said. President Trump ordered the withdrawal, and to some it took a lot of people by surprise, especially the Department of Defense and the State Department. He didn't necessarily consult them, but nevertheless, he's the president. He gave the order for the withdrawal within 30 days. The military folks looked at it and said it's not possible to pull out within 30 days safely, and they extended it to 3 or 4 months. And now they're negotiating with the Turks and with the Russians how to fill the void in that area. John Bolton and others are coming in to fill in the details, and some of them are interjecting their own agendas. John Bolton is known to be a very strong pro-Israel hawk. He's part of the neocons, part of the people that push for the war in Iraq. He's pushing for a war with Iran. So the president gave the order. These different agencies, the State Department, National Security Advisor, are trying to fill the details. And for some, they're interjecting their own agendas. And that's why we're seeing contradictory statements from these different agencies. But at the end of the day, they have to fulfill what the President of the United States ordered.
Well, then again, as you said, we are seeing a lot of back and forth in the comments from U.S. officials. So why really the confusion? I mean, the critiques, many of them are saying, who is in charge of the Middle East policy?
Well, that's why there is, there seems to be no real comprehensive policy. And let's remember again that the Trump administration has had a lot of high turnover. Mattis had just resigned. There's been high turnover in the United Nations as far as the UN ambassador, or the U.S. ambassador to the UN, the National Security Council, the Chief of Staff. So with this high turnover and with different officials coming in who bring their own agendas, there are different competing interests within the administration. The United States administration is a large organization, and you have different people with different agendas, and you're seeing that play out. And a lot of times, President Trump is disconnected from the details. He gave the order and the promise to President Erdogan, and now the rest are trying to fill the details by keeping, they're scrambling to fill those details by somehow also maintaining the status quo. How do they support and protect the Kurdish militias that helped fight against ISIS? Meanwhile, how do they satisfy long-term ally Turkey? So that's what's at play here. But at the end, it seems like they're just asking and begging the Turks to provide that protection, which, by the way, the Turkish government never said that they're going to go after the Kurds wholesale. They think that within the militias, there's these YPG elements that threaten Turkish sovereignty, and they want to eliminate it. And they also say in Turkey that these YPG militias are actually oppressing the Kurdish populations within Syria, and they're offering amnesty to child soldiers and others that were forced to fight for the Kurds, saying that the intention is not to eliminate the Kurds, but to provide stability in the region. And they don't think that the YPG is a stabilizing force